Hey, welcome to the YouTube channel. Today we're going to be dealing with how to clean drums, and replace drums. So I'm going to be showing you how to take out bleeds, Normally you should get the bleeds because in reality, the snare cannot just sound alone for the snare mic. It's going to bleed into this. And when you combine all these microphones together, you have what we call the comb filtering. You understand? But because we're going to be replacing the drums also in this tutorial, so we're not going to dwell much on too much cleaning. We're going to be going straight into the editing without too much talk. Let's get right into business. It's a live recording, it's a live event, and I have an artist called Daniel G, So just going to use a part of his session just to show us how to edit stems, how to clean drums and all that. If you have not purchased the 3-in-1 mixing template, the Studio One 3-in-1 mixing template, I don't know where you are. So go right now into the description of this video. You're going to find the link to purchase that template. Because this tutorial, editing stems, is going to really help you to clean up your stems, then drag them into that template and get your mixes sounding the industry standard. Also, if you're the one who is into post-productions of live concerts, you want to be able to mix the post-productions of live concerts, please hurry to that link and go and purchase your template. Yeah, so we're going back to this project. We're going to normalize all these tracks because we can see that they all have different levels. They have different levels of gain. So we're going to normalize everything. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be going to this key right here. In the audio editing, sometimes what you get when you click on this icon, that's the macros, is the global settings. So most times, so you just have to come to the audio editing and where we have normalize and peak. So what it does is it normalizes all the tracks to about 0 or some decibels just below 0. But it normalizes them, let's assume it normalizes them to 0 dB. Then it now brings everything back down by 12 dB. Some people feel, okay, that level is the sweet spot of every recording of how audio is supposed to sound before it enters the plugin, so that you have quite a lot of headrooms. Okay, we're going to try that now. Now we have done that. You can see everything is looking similar and alike, but we still have some particular waveforms that are a bit bigger than some here and there. Anyways, this is what we're going to be working with. So I have it all normalized down to about -12. So what I'm going to be doing right here now is I'm going to just boost. I want it to be normalized to -6. That's my own preference. You can choose whatever you want. So that's -6. So I just added 3 dB extra for all the inputs. So that was what I did right there. This is the kick. You can hear a lot of the snare in this kick mic. A lot. I'm going to be zooming in on this kick. You can hear the bleeds in it, right? So first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to train a gate on this mic. I'm going to train the Pro G, that's the Fab Filter gate on this particular mic, so that we can just get the kick alone. So first I have to take down my attack so that I don't miss any part of the transient. Open up my hold a bit to get the entire sustain of the kick before the gate closes with the release time. So I'm going to do what I call the side chain, just to filter the frequency. We know the kick, mostly the fundamental frequency of the kick falls around this frequency range. So I'm going to bring down the gate threshold. So we have a lot of attack being chopped up. So we have a lot of our attack being chopped off because of this filtering we are doing. Although with this, you're still going to have some gates. Although with this, you're still going to have some snare bleeds still coming in, especially when you have those notes that were hit at the moment the kick was also hit. But thank God for this feature. That's the look ahead. So it gives the gate some delay, or the audio some delay, so that the gate can sense. Now with this, I can now have some of my transients cut through. So we're going to take this to another section of the music where we have the kick. Now we can take this up. It's cleaner now. The where you have the snare just comes with the kick. But in places where you just have only snare without kick, you're not going to hear any of the snare. That is what has been taken out here. And this is what is shaded in the black color there. So try another section. I got some ghost notes right here. Let me see if the gate hasn't chopped that ghost note off. Okay, we have it in. Yeah. So that's that for the kick. We're good with the kick. That's that for the kick. Go to the snare. The snare drum. Let's solo that snare drum. Solo that snare drum. So you have some bleeds. You have some bleeds. Let me zoom in on that. You still have some bleeds here, but the noise to signal ratio in terms of the snare, that's the snare to the bleed, is much. So the gate is not really going to have problem. So what we can just do, thank God for Studio One, is we can drag this gate into the snare channel, but we're going to make some adjustment because they have different fundamental frequencies. You can see this being lit up right here. That shows the snare is very active at this frequency. So we could just use this as our target frequency. Yeah, you can hear that now. You cannot hear any bleed right now. You can get the transient. But now that's about the snare. I'm going to open this code a little bit just to capture some sustain and release of that snare hit, that snare note. So it's a bit cleaner now. For the hi-hats, we don't really have issues with the hi-hats. We're just going to throw in an EQ on that just to clean it up. So this is the Tom 1 mic. So we're going to throw in this same gate on this. So they have different fundamental frequencies. You can see this particular plugin helps you to highlight where in the frequency spectrum that Tom is busy. So we need more release for this Tom and a little bit of, so we can get the full sustained body of that snare, so the gate doesn't close. So this is it now. Now we have only our snare drum. Oh, this is we have this. Yeah, so that's for the snare drum. Yeah, so nothing hidden, nothing broken. Everything comes out. Oh, we have a snare hit around there. So sometimes you also have to be very, very careful. Try and look through, because it can sound good now, and might not sound good in another place. So you just have to look through. But for this tutorial purpose, we're just going to have to speed up a bit. So I think the release was too long enough and the old. So let's. So while it was closing, it picked this snare. There's nothing we're going to be able to do about that, because if we try to close in the envelope of that particular mic, it's just going to make the snare, the tom sound unrealistic, because the tom is not going to really have enough time to bloom. To bloom. That's the word I can use to describe that right now. So yeah, that's that for the tom 1. We're going to do the same thing for the tom 2. Drag the same gate into this. So the one is just so fast. The workflow is beautiful. You can just drag and drag and drag, select multiple channels, highlight, throw in a plugin on it, and it applies to all the channels. The workflow is really fast. So this is the tom 2. Yeah, just to check the fundamental frequencies. Okay, just 2 hits there, and we have it captured. Let me try and open up on the this time a bit. Okay, let's try it here. Oh, that's the tom 1. Where do we have multiple hits of the tom 2? So we cut this small snare. Let me see. Yeah, made it a bit sharper. Yeah, so that's better for this tom. Let me see. Yeah, beautiful. So yeah, for the tom 3, going to drag the same gate in again. Make sure you check the fundamental frequencies, where the battle or where it is happening. Oops, sorry for that. Solo. Beautiful. So much energy around here. Let me increase this. Yeah, that's beautiful. Oops, I had something. I had a snare. So we're taking this threshold up. Yeah. Closing on this. Yeah, beautiful. That's too extreme. Hey, it's slow now. Slow. Yeah. But still, because we are not going to be using the original drums, the drums sound great, they sound good. But we're not going to be using the original drums because I want to show us how to replace drum samples. So I wouldn't need to bother about how long it's taking the tom to resonate and all that. Why the tom or the floor tom is not able to blow. So yeah, so that's that for the cleaning up of the drums. We have tom 1 here, tom 2 slightly here. This is just for a rough listen, so we can take a listen of how this is way better. This is beautiful. This sounds beautiful already. So one thing I'm going to do right now is I'm going to bounce this. I'm going to bounce all this. Bounce it. Make sure everything we have done is rightly printed on it. Then we're going to bring in our trigger plugins. So, but for this, what we're going to be doing right now is select all and control bounce, 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 bounce. So we have everything bounced. For the drums, that's without the cymbals, the kick, the snare, and the three toms. So we're going to bounce to new track. So mid solo, select this, tom 1, tom 2, and tom 3. So I'm going to do what we call bounce to new track. If you use this Studio One and you can't find it here, you just come to the events option here and click bounce to new track. So I think your top 5 options always comes here. If you do something different or something new, it comes to this list just for quick access. So for now, I'm going to click in on bounce to new track. So it's going to print all the kick settings. It's going to print all the kick settings into a new track. Then we continue from there. So next, after printing this, we're going to align all the drums to make sure that everything is in phase. Every instrument is in phase. So next, we are going to align all the drums and make sure that every of the drums is in phase. We have little or no comb filtering in or amongst the mics. So yeah, this is done. We are done bouncing this. So just going to arrange this and disable this track and hide them. So here we have our kick, our snare, our hi-hats, our tom 1, tom 2, and 3. Now you can see that everything has been freshly edited. You can see the tom mics, right? So just going to do this just to lock. Yeah, everything is locked to time now. Now, what next? What we are going to be doing now is we're going to first adjust the colors, make sure everything looks uniform. Yeah. So what next is we're going to align the drums, and this is how we're going to do that. Where is my plugin? Yeah, auto align. Yeah, so that's auto align. If you don't have this plugin, please look for it and get it. Yeah, so this is in drum set. That's the group. There are various groups here, but this is the drum set. We're aligning the drums, so we could use another group. It still means the same thing. So this is the drum set. Then we have to ensure that this same plugin is sent to all other channels of the drums. So, and they must all be in drum set. The fact that I've been able to do this on Studio One to select multiple channels and drag in one plugin, it replicates all the settings on that initial channel to all the other channels. So everything is on. By select on individual channels, I have everything on drum set. So coming back to this first channel, what I'm going to be doing now is I'm going to play this track or this multi-track going to play from it. What I want to do is I want to be able to capture all the drum hits in this session on this and this plugin to make sure that the plugin is able to hear all the mics, all the sounds, and align everything together. So this is what we are going to be doing. So I'm going to play from here. I want the app. So I want the plugin to be able to capture the kick, the snare, the drum rolls, that's the toms and the likes. So I'm going to hit play, and quickly I'm going to hit the analyze button. It's done. So according to this plugin, it says my kick has been delayed by this milliseconds. Yeah, and the snare and has also been reversed. The snare drum, because maybe it was out of phase. Then the snare drum was delayed a little bit by maybe 7.8 milliseconds. The IR 6.9, 7.6, 7.7. Then the tom 3 was on 0, but the plugin had to reverse the polarity. Was on 0. Definitely the tom 3 was our reference right here. Was our reference. So everything was time aligned to this instrument according to this plugin. So what I'm gonna do next, we bounce to a new track again. Bounce to a new track again. You can want to monitor or listen to everything now. So what we're going to do is we're going to put off these plugins. You can hear it now. You have less punch as it was before. But now with all the plugins back in, we have all the drums coming in. Let's go back to that portion. Hold on. So I'm going to put it off here. The snare, the kick, they are more punchier here. Especially the snare. Snare sounds a bit farther from this part of the settings because I put off all the plugins. Now the snare is up front. So we know that we don't have phasing issue with our drums. So the next thing we're going to do again is we're going to align. We're going to bounce to a new track. And this is how we're going to do this. We're going to bounce everything to a new track. Bounce to new track. Now we have it all bounced to a new track. So we're going to take the tracks we don't need, going to disable them and hide them. Disable selected tracks, hide them. I could as well delete them, but I prefer it that way. I have trust issues. So in case there are any issues anywhere and all that, I can retrace my step until the project is finally done. So now this is better. This is better. So we'll try and listen with the other tracks. It's not mixed, so it's really not going to be nice. It's not nice. It's not worth listening to. So yeah, so that's that. Now we're going to go into replacing drums. Replacing the drums sound good already. Don't get me wrong. This is the tom 2. This is tom 1, tom 2. Then the tom 3. That's that. So we're going to throw in trigger plugins, and for me, I use the Steven Slate Trigger 2 drum plugin. Yeah, this is my favorite trigger plugin. You need to get this plugin if you do not have it. Yeah, so but for me, in order not to take us through all that stress, I have some templates. Quite all right. If you don't know how to use Trigger 2 plugin, I will teach you, right? But hold on. Just hold on. So where is my slate drums? So I have the kick here. Yeah, so you can hear that, right? So if I hit play, start cutting in, increasing the input volume. So I have the hits above the threshold. So just like that, I've replaced the drum. That's without the trigger plugin. In order to hear the original kick, I have to increase it. The kick is not sounding bad. The original kick is not sounding bad. But I just wanted to replace it, or to show you how to replace your drums. This is too loud now. So it's very important to look through. So I don't have some of this hits. Some of these hits are gone. So I play a bit with the sensitivity. Okay, I think I need more input. Yeah, we have it all captured now. Coming back to the beginning. So we have a lot of it coming in, but it's been replaced, so it's not really going to affect our output. But if your output is clipping, you can just come down a bit. I have it at just a little bit, almost at 0. So that's about replacing drums. So I'm going to reduce the other tracks so that it's not too loud in our ears. Okay, let me pan this left, right. So we're going to reduce these other tracks. If I pull this, it pulls all this. That's beauty of Studio One. So pulling it by maybe -7 dB. So you can hear how the it's cutting through. So that's the music about replacing drums. So I'm going to show you how to run through Trigger 2 just in replacing drums, in case you don't know how to do that. So clear solo. I'm going to duplicate this channel completely, then mute this initial one, then take out this preset, then come here and add the Trigger 2 plugin. So we're going to be starting from scratch, right? So I'm going to go to my browser, my library. I have various drum bundles here, or drum samples. I have various drum samples here. So this is my kick. If I want to test for the kick that's going to go with this song, so I'm going to play the song and hit on this sample. If it's going to go with it, fine. We're good. So play. Can you hear that? I like it. So don't waste our time. So that. So this is the direct. This is like the beta, like that's a snap. If you want that into your mix, you want the overhead sample, the room, and the like. So let me bring this in, see how we can play with both of them. Yeah. So let's. So it's still too low. So the other time we had it up to about 7.9 thereabout. So I think it's better now. Yeah. Now we have too much byte. Just a little. A little. So we'll come to the envelopes. Yeah, we have the envelopes. So I'm going to just try and group all these features. So I have the same settings across. So yes, my attack is on 0. We do not want to lose any transient. I think I should take out my attack because I need to trim the attack of that second sample. This is beautiful. This is beautiful. So yeah, so we'll come back to this. So for the okay. Can we start this session? So for the sustain, we have it group. So anything I do here affects all these other channels. I do not want the sustain too much. I think it's okay there. Let it gradually fade out. That's the release. This is beautiful. Warmer. So that's that. Then so we have the dynamics, we have the range, the velocity. If you're conversant with sample replacement, you will know what all this means. But this dynamics, what it does is it's trying to adjust the dynamics of the input source. That's the kick. You know, there are different amplitudes of those notes coming in. So if you want everything equal coming in, then this is, you reduce this dynamic range. So everything is almost coming at an equal level. And if you do that, it might make your drum sound a bit unnatural because it's a live person playing, it's a live drum. So there are going to be variances of those hits, of various notes. So we're just going to control it a little bit, maybe leave it at 65 thereabouts. So we're controlling it here. We do not want there to be too much of disparity between the notes, but yet we also want to keep that allowance for dynamics there. I might want to increase the velocity a little bit, but it's going to be too hard on it. So let's just return it back to 50. Then the range. Can you see that? So the range also has to do with the dynamics, but I think this particular feature is now working more on the sample. The dynamics was working on the input signal, while this range is working on the sample. Because if you have it on the full range, it just tells you on how the tone of the kick is going to sound. But as you adjust it, the sound changes. So let's see. Have you seen that? So, but we do not want it to change too much. Just going to keep it around this range so the tone is constant. Because for various hits, you'll get maybe a little slight change in the tone. So I think this is okay. So yeah. Okay, so with this now, come back to my mixer. It's still too much a bit. Just I'm already feeling it. I can't hear it more, but I need to boost it so I can hear it. So if I need to deal with it, I could just go to my compressor, and I think I saw some ghost notes around here. Hold on, let me bypass this. I'm sure that was the snare that the gate refused to kill. So we're going to let that go. So we've successfully replaced.
The Bible says from the time of
So we can increase this
from the time of John the Baptist. Yes.
increase the output a
From the
bit.
time of John the Baptist.
Want to be careful and not to allow the output of the trigger clip. So that's about triggering. Yeah. So we're going to compare it with what we have, my presets. So going to compare this. If it sounds better, I might just trigger my preset and just save this new settings. So I think I'm going to throw away my old preset. So did I?
The Bible says from the time of John the Baptist. Yes. From the time of John the Baptist.
So I'm going to let you guys be the judge of this. Which of the kicks should I use? Do I go with my preset or I go with this newborn kick? So, but I've showed you how to run sample replacements using the Steven Slate trigger 2 to replace your drums. So yeah, so that's that. Saving this. Can close this. You can decide you want to use 2 kicks, but I wouldn't advise that. But some people do. It's a free word preference. So that's that. So we're going to do the same for snare drum. I'm going to be using my presets in order for us not to take so much time. So I have the snare template here. I'm going to run it through the template to make sure we do not have ghost notes. Not like 2 snare drums here. We need to see if it's going to go with the music. In fact, depending on preference, you might decide to go with the original snare. You might decide to go with the original snare drum. So let's stick with this. Listen to this. And always make sure that your tones go with the kind of music. The context is very, very important. Make sure the reason why you're going for this tone of this snare or this sample of this snare or this kick goes with this song, resonates with the song. So that's for the snare. We have for the tones. We're going for the tones. Go with my preset again. And that will be the slate drums. That's the tom 1. Then I'm going to play this one also, making sure everything cuts through. Oh. So we're going to increase. So that's the tom 1. If you're going to off it and listen to the raw. So I think go with this for the tom 2. There, I have a lot of samples. If you have your trigger 2, you have a lot of samples. You have favorite sound. It's preferential. I do not have time to go and select other toms just to see how the toms are going to work with each other. But the point is, I'm showing you how to replace drum samples so that you can start something on your own, do it the way you like it, do it the way you want it. I'm not trying to box whatever it is you're doing to do it the same way I do it. I just want to show you the foundation, the basics, or how to get your stems sounding clean so that when your mixing process starts, you have everything sounding as clean as if they were recorded in the studio. It might not be as clean as the studio recording, but at least yes, it's close to that kind of quality. So I'm going for the same preference, the same. So I'm going for the same preset for the tom 2. Going to be playing that also. Yeah, so that's that. Then for the tom 3, go for the same preset. Yeah. Okay, that's tom 3. So we're going to check this. We did not check the tom 2. Well, we're checking the tom 3 right now, making sure that it got every hit, back to back. So this is the tom 2. Let's check that out also. Yeah, so we're going to solo all the drums, and this is what we're going to be getting. Just going to try this with. That's in context. Always make sure your toms or your trigger plugins are not clipping. So we're going to add more a little bit to this output. That's for the tom 3. Yeah, so that's beautiful. Check the same for the tom 2, making sure. Okay, I think this is good. Making sure they do not clip, but this is low. Why do I have this particular hit? So let's bypass. So increase the sensitivity, the inputs. Yeah, beautiful. Beautiful. Now they have that note part of it. There. Yeah, beautiful. So that is how to replace drums. So what you're going to be doing next is bouncing this as stem. That's for the drums. Or bounce to new track. Make sure that, okay, you've been able to replace the drums, then bounce it in. But I must warn also, when you bounce in your drums into a new track, there's going to be some slight shifts. It's going to be some slight shift in the wave. So before you take out the previous one, ensure you are able to align so I'm going to try it for you. We're going to try with the kick. I've decided to go with this kick. Nobody responded, so you're just going to be watching the video, so nobody's actually going to respond because it's not a live video. So so we're going to take out this. disable my preset and go with the new. Then we're going to use this as an example. Ensure you lock your waves. So we're going to use this, bounce this to new track, seeing how it's going to print the trigger 2 plugin. Wow. Wow. Oh my loud. So these 2 channels, making them big. So this was muted. I'm going to open it out. See, you can see this here. See, they're almost at the same time. So you need to check. You need to check. If they aren't, then you're going to have to do some manual dragging. Manual dragging. So we are good with this. Going to do the same thing. Going to do the same thing for the snare, the 3 toms. Bounce to new track. And that's that. So we're taking out. Oh, okay. Before we take it out, we need to compare. So for the snare, we're going to compare that of the snare. We're going to open this out. Take this. Making sure they start at the same time, which they did. The same thing for the tom 1. Yeah, so let's just do this. They did. So we're good. We're good. Without wasting our time, we just take out the unwanted ones. Yeah, so that's the snare. What's that of the snare? Which is it's this. Yeah. So this, taking you out, disable you first, and taking you out. One. So this is what editing of stems means. This is what editing of stems means. So we give it a new color because they've been replaced and they've been washed clean. The blood of Jesus. Hallelujah. So we're going to pan these guys again. So that is how to clean up and edit your stems. But for this particular episode, I was able to show you how to clean up your drums and also replace your drums, getting your drums sounding this way. So with this, you're able to push in all your stems into that template and get your work sounding great. So in the next episode, I'm going to show you how to clean the background vocals. So I'm going to show you how to clean the background vocals and the lead vocals and making sure that, okay, the other line instruments are also clean without any issues. So thank you very much. See you in the next video. And before you go, do not forget to like this video. And if you've not subscribed to this channel, subscribe to this channel so that you can keep learning more and more. Then also click on the notification icon so that you can get more and more and more videos, especially when I upload. Thank you very much. Have a blessed day.